August the 16th, 2021. Guys, you're looking at Tropical Storm Fred. Very close to shore. It hasn't come upon shore yet as far as center circulation. My main concern over the last few days has been tornadic activity, because we have the tropical storm's just going to do that, especially when you're in the middle of this heat wave. And that's what we've been seeing. Right here as the sun rises over the Gulf this morning. There's your center of circulation. And that's going to be due south, probably to Panama City, maybe a little further east than that. And that's what pretty much exactly what we were expecting. Now notice it's starting to really kind of wrap itself tight. It was predicted to be 60 miles an hour as it comes ashore. So we need to pay attention to that. You guys there are already under tornado watches. Let's take a look at that. Now, switching to the National Weather Service. Here you've got in the dark maroon, this is all tropical storm warnings. And then in the green, you've got flash flood watches, because this is pretty much where the northeast quadrant is going to go with the storm, guys. In the yellow area that you see here, and this is overlaid by the tropical storm warnings in some of these counties. These are tornado watches. So that's exactly what we've been talking about, and that has been my main concern. I'm sure there's some small craft problems in that area, because you do have gale warnings. You got small craft advisories in the lighter pink colors here. So this is what we're going to be going through the entire day. It's going to come ashore probably within an hour or so, and then it's going to start pulling out. But as they move ashore, you know, they always leave that tail behind them that's dragging the remnants of the storm. And that tail and that path usually is where the tornadic activity is. Now what you're seeing here is still an indication in this model of a slight wobble to the left or to the west, northwest, and then back to the right. So we can kind of keep an eye on it. All you folks right in this area, you can see where you're already getting the rain and thunderstorms. But it's predicted by 2 p.m. this afternoon to be at 60 miles an hour. It currently is at 60 miles an hour, so more than likely you're going to be about 60 or 65 when it comes ashore. Millibар pressure's down 993 millibars. It's moving north at 10 miles an hour and 60 miles an hour. This was at 8:30 a.m., which would have been just a few minutes ago. Now, the models are also indicating north-northwest movement or north movement with a east turn as it approaches shore right there across the Florida Panhandle. Most of the tracks are all together now, so just keep an eye on it. You know where it's going. We've been tracking it for over a week now. And the main problem, of course, small craft warnings. Make sure your boats are okay. It may be a little late to try to get out into this with 60 mile sustained winds right now just offshore. But the tornadoes, make sure that you're got your weather radio on. More than likely, some people are going to lose power. But you need some type of a warning system about the tornadoes. Now let's look at Sky Tower radar. You can see the center of circulation here. Got that little bit of northwest movement going on, and you can see most of the storm is to the right of it. It's going to be pulling all of this with it. As it moves ashore, it's going to trail it off behind it. But again, you're getting buffeted here, probably Apalachicola into this area, and relatively dry from Pensacola, Panama City area here over towards Orange Beach, Perdido. But this is coming your way. Again, Perdido, Pensacola, you're going to be on the safest side of the storm, if you would want to call it that, but you're not in the northeast quadrant. But this is what it's looking like coming ashore right there. Now this is Grace. Winds are 35 miles an hour. It's tropical depression. Pressure's 1,008 millibars. It's moving west at 15 miles an hour. Now notice it has now drifted south as far as the projected path, and it's going to miss a lot of Cuba. That's going to allow this storm to strengthen, maybe more than what they're talking about here, if it keeps this path of unobstructed movement. But notice what it's doing. Yesterday morning, I showed you the U.S. Navy model called NAVGEM. It was showing an impact right here into Mexico. We're still a few days out. We're going to have to watch it, but by Thursday at 2 a.m. in the morning, you've got the storm entering into the Gulf, just above the Yucatan Peninsula. moving north, just north of the Bay of Campeche. And then by Saturday at 2 a.m., 60-mile-per-hour storm setting here off the Mexican coast. And the spaghetti models of grace are showing pretty much what we were seeing yesterday. You've got right here in the white CM2 Canadian model. NavGem is in the blue. It's right there. So what we're getting is kind of an average, but it looks like, except for just a couple of models here, it will be an impact on our friends in Mexico. Possibly just a tropical storm at 60 miles an hour. But to me, that speed sounds unlikely to be to hold at that level, simply because it's not going to traverse over the entire island of Cuba the way that we saw Fred do and the way the models were projecting it. Now, looking at the Caribbean satellite, you can see there more than likely will be some interaction with the southern half of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. So Haiti, you already devastated. As of last night, there were over 1,000 people that had lost their lives, and a lot of them are missing. A lot of power's out. Homes have crumbled. Businesses have crumbled. Churches, everything. It just, in certain areas, it's just debris, and they're trying to find folks there. And this may cool it off, but it could present some major flooding that you don't need right now. There's probably people that do not have shelter. So everybody that's watching this, just take a moment, say a prayer for these people, to ask the Lord to put his hand over them and protect them through this time, because they are in trouble. But again, this is what we're looking at as the sun rises. Still very well wrapped, but I think we're going to have some interaction here. Maybe not the entire island as far as tropical storm force winds. Definitely the southern half. Then pretty much a clear shot from here into the Gulf of Mexico. It's very active, and we've been waiting on this for this time of the year. But guys, we're watching this. My main concern now, again, would be the folks in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and of course all of my friends in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, up through that point. Tornado watches and warnings are going to be posted throughout the day, more than likely. Do not let your guard down. When these things happen, we lose people. So if you know people that don't watch the news or don't watch the weather or don't pay attention to it, just make sure your friends and family know that there is this danger. Guys, we are watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.